Another adventure where I went up an ass.
Oh, good. Are we having this fight again? Let me guess. You're gonna leave or throw a sulking fit?
You think you know everything, Rick, but you're basically just a giant 8-year-old.
I'm not doing this anymore. Either you're in or you're out, Morty. I'm tired of you weaponizing this half-assed threat. You want out, then fucking quit!
You know what? You're right. Sorry to be such a high-maintenance, Morty. Why don't I get you a drink?
Oh, hey, Morty.
Hey, Rick. You drunk yet?
You're my little buddy. Do you know that? It's you and me, Morty. Rick and Morty, 100 years. Forever.
Yeah, pal. Rick and Morty. 100 years. Forever.
What are you doing? An eye patch. You know how we feel about pirates.
Things have been getting pretty crazy down there. From up here, it's not looking so good. Earthquakes, wildfires, floods, war, it's all kicking off. And Mother Earth just can't take it anymore.
Maybe we should get the heck out of this place. Good idea.
It's one thing to have a huge all-out war or destroy an entire planet in an anime, but it's a totally different thing when it's the real world and you have to live there.
What do you mean by that?
We're a part of this, whether we like it or not.
I don't mean to come off as preachy, but I care about the future, and you should too. So think about your effect on the environment and how you can make a difference. No one wants to see the end of days. And if we don't start taking steps to turn it around, soon there won't even be an
I
Earth
do
to
love
broadcast
Donald
your
Trump.
favorite
Kanye
news
West.
to.
Quote,
Remember,
I love
we're all
Donald
in
Trump.
this
That's what I was going to ask you. People are saying that he's been saying he loves Donald Trump.
He's touching base with a group of people that are totally unaligned with anything that we're talking about, probably unaligned with any politics generally. Do you really believe, though, that this is like the turning point?
Yeah, I think we're at a transcendent moment right now.
With positive tweets about President Trump.
And he has shown his support in a variety of ways.
Kanye West has called Emma Gonzalez his hero.
Maybe you've noticed that the universe seems to be serving up more surprises than normal. It started about the time of President Trump's ascension, from the time that he announced he was running, and it seems to be continuing all the way through the North Korean progress. In each of these cases, what we're seeing are things that we didn't think were possible. We keep seeing a series of things that don't seem possible based on our old thinking. We're seeing more signs of the golden age.
But UFOs turn out to be real. We're not kidding. Recently, the New York Times profiled a secret Pentagon program that investigated unidentified flying objects.
We have come certainly a long way, at least rhetorically, with North Korea. It would be a great thing for the world. It would be a great thing for North Korea. It would be a great thing for the peninsula. But we'll see what happens.
Your eyes gazed into the realm of death. What did you see?
Ready to do something scary? And that is taking a risk.
You have zero chance of winning. Everything that you thought had meaning, every hope, dream, or moment of happiness,
none of it matters as you lie bleeding out on the battlefield.
I was always playing it safe. The fear was so incredible.
You've been living with so much despair this whole time, thinking you had no choice but to suffer so much.
You cannot die!
Oh well, that's how it is.
I had the sensation that I wanted to try something different, and that was a new feeling for me. It's so important to do that.
Find a way! I entrusted everything to you!
Keep on! There'll be someone willing to help, I promise.
Rest assured, there's nothing to worry about.
The fear is gonna come. The trick is to walk through it anyway.
All right. Then I'll support you in any way I can.
I won't fail! I refuse to let them down!
Because on the other side of it can be some amazing things.
I am going to be your hero!
Enough events have transpired to confirm our involvement with a new paradigm.
We were just in this college dorm room. We moved out to California. It was a few friends and me.
Mr. Zuckerberg, does Facebook consider itself a neutral public forum?
It's not just that big events are changing for the better. It's that these events are happening more and more frequently.
UFOs.
This is literally an everyday occurrence.
With justice occurring in places the general public either assumed were lost causes or simply had no idea of the towering and historic scope of its evil.
Misconduct with Kevin Spacey, it's going to continue unraveling. This is just the beginning. It's just the tip of the iceberg.
I'm so upset by this story. I'm over it. I'm sick of talking about him.
I felt a freedom in, first of all, just doing something that everybody tells you not to do. We are drugged out. We are following other people's opinions. We are controlled by the media. And today, it all changes.
Kanye West loves Trump, not because of immigration or foreign policy, but because to him, he made the impossible possible.
The fact that he won, it's like, it proves something. It proved that anything is possible in America. That Donald Trump could be president of America. I'm not talking about, what he's done since he's been in office, but the fact that he was able to do it.
He doesn't care about general politics at all.
I don't have extremely strong political opinions. I've never been into politics. I just love Trump. That's my boy. It's like so many rappers, you'll look at a video of Snoop Dogg loving Trump, but then he get in the office and now they don't love him. Like, Trump is one of rap's favorite people.
But because Kanye is doing something that he's not supposed to do, many are latching on to the unfortunate pejorative of mental illness.
Does show, to me, a lack of impulse control, what I would refer to as dysregulated thought.
The hospital, the fact that he was checked into a hospital a few years ago, under suspicion of mental health issues. I'm saying I worry about Kanye.
But maybe Kanye has lost his mind, and maybe that's a good thing, because he seems to have found a new one.
We have to start by loving ourselves, because what you say to somebody is a reflection of how you feel about yourself when you put that energy in the world. How are we going to get a different result out of hate? Why don't we just try love? Why don't we just try love? Why can't it be okay for an influential rapper in the black community to go up to the president and talk to him about how we can make a change one by one?
But ignore all the unity consciousness and positivity Kanye is desperately trying to convey. Instead, let's only focus on one sentence he said, hyperbolize it, apply malicious intent, flip the context, and go reptilian on his ass.
400 years is a choice? Nigga, fuck you.
You was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all?
All one has to do to find the context is to just listen to what is said directly afterwards.
It's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison. So prison is something that unites us as one race. Blacks and whites being one race. We're the human race.
What he meant here was a statement about mentality, which many choose to take part in and can choose to get out. Even Charlemagne the God, although not happy with the way Kanye made his point, conceded this.
Now, what he meant to say, I think, was about psychological slavery, and you shouldn't be enslaved now mentally, but that's not the way it came out.
So, the time for waiting is over. This is not about freedom or personal choice.
That is the actual coup.
If it becomes necessary to get yet another boost, then we'll just have to deal with it when that occurs.
Pfizer has agreed to pay $2.3 billion, the largest healthcare fraud settlement in the history of the Department of Justice.
I thought I would bring that perspective to the topic today, is the issue of pandemic preparedness. If there's one message that I want to leave with you today, based on my experience, and you'll see that in a moment, is that there is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases, but also there will be a surprise outbreak. And I hope by the end of my relatively short presentation, you will understand why history will tell the next administration that there's no doubt in anyone's mind that they will be faced with the challenges that their predecessors were faced with.
When Tony Fauci talks, you have to listen. Forget the conspiracy. Listen to our government agencies. These guys are telling the truth. You know, there's no conspiracy here, folks. Just get your damn vaccine.
The thing that people always ask me, what keeps you up at night? I mean, obviously the evolution of a pandemic-like respiratory infection.
Get the damn vaccine.
That's the reason why we worry that we may yet again have another pandemic, and it is almost inevitable that we will have another pandemic. Now we're talking about what an administration might face in regard to emerging diseases. I can say with some confidence that history tells us that we will definitely get surprised in the next few years. And then the other thing that I aspirationally hope to be able to encounter is the ability to rapidly respond to something brand new, whether it's a brand new pandemic or, as you mentioned, a brand new attack upon us deliberately by bioterror. The thing we're extraordinarily confident about is that we are going to see this in the next few years. Thank you.
Of course, Kanye is trying to sell records, but he's also narcissistic enough to know that he can change the world with the right message, one he obviously cares about regardless of economics. He's trying to influence us, and he knows exactly what he's doing.
Putting the hat on forces and evolution, because even for me, I know so much more in the past 3 days. I'm getting this energy, positive or negative, agreeing with me, disagreeing with me, and that's like sharpens the diamond and shit. Our mind, our consciousness, the way we're thinking, just breaking some shit.
But what Kanye may not know is that this doesn't have to do with Kanye the person. It's about how we react to that which he puts on the table. He lights the match and leaves it up to us to use his name as a tool for conversation and human progress.
Kanye West.
Kanye West.
Kanye West. Kanye West.
Kanye West.
Kanye West.
Kanye's
We are drugged out. We are following other people's opinions. We are controlled by the media. And today it all changes.
And that's like sharpens the diamond and shit. Our mind, our consciousness is breaking some shit.
Now, roughly 10 years after the mythologically significant date of December 21st, 2012, it seems like palpable changes in awareness are finally occurring globally. Perhaps the cabal's desperate push for a new world order is exactly what Earth needs to catalyze a planetary unification event. Not the kind that the dark occultists desire. Rather, we are being presented with the opportunity for all points on the political compass to recognize our common enemy and work together in love as one race and one people. Rapid authoritarian expansion is certainly galvanizing the political initiation of millions of formerly disinterested citizens. If only we can act intelligently as one planet to snuff out the deep state, malevolent secret societies, and the elite criminal syndicates pulling the strings of our institutions, then perhaps we stand a chance at peace on Earth and traveling the stars.
I hope most of you are already home from church.
The brilliant Scott Adams, who inspired this video, is himself influencing the world through Kanye West. We saw that Kanye was watching Scott Adams videos where Scott uses the words mental prisons and the impossible being possible. This is not to say that Kanye hasn't come up with his ideas organically, just that Scott seems to have given him a framework to better express the views he already had.
Part of that golden age is the realization that many of our problems are psychological and not physical. And it seems impossible until you start seeing it all work out. The economy is blazing, maybe it's the simulation we like to say, or whatever filter you want to put on it. It feels like there's something big happening. And I think a framework to see this big happening is that people are breaking out of what I call their mental prisons.
It's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison.
The people are realizing that there were things that used to hold us back, that much of these were psychological. That much of these were psychological.
And what if Kanye was right, and the general principle of the impossible being possible, and not just Trump becoming president, kind of impossible, but scaled all the way up? Are there parts of our reality we at first did not believe were readily identifiable, but are now part of documented reality? And why are we just now seeing a rise in public consciousness and a mainstream acceptance of a phenomenon that only since recently has been entirely ignored?
I got 4 of them. Major sighting here.
A really bright one is starting to move away now.
By the CIA this week, since 1947, approximately 1,500 official reports of sightings have been received. Of these, about 20% are as yet unexplained.
It certainly got my attention, and I've stopped making fun of people like you and started paying attention. This seems like a huge story.
Well, we do know that there are objects in the sky and sometimes in the water that demonstrate extraordinary capabilities that experts say we don't have on this planet. We don't have the capability of creating the kind of technology that, or apparent technology that's been observed by high-level officials for many, many decades. The Pentagon program is the most recent discovery, but these things have been studied in other countries and by our country for many years.
If there were ever an event showcasing the impossible is within reach, it would be this one. Could an object, for instance, split itself into two? Well, this is a reoccurring incident documented by eyewitnesses, radar, and video. Consider Captain Laurie Refelt, who was stationed at Bentwaters just north of Rendlesham Forest, describing the same event at the same time sightings were being reported and documented by high-level military personnel.
And then as it got closer and closer, it was a big light and it just stopped. And this guy and I were looking, we noticed that the runway lights aren't on. We see this light. And then all of a sudden it just stops in midair, and then all of a sudden it just moves up, down, left, right.
Some nights later, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Holt, who was stationed at Bentwaters, was instructed to investigate an object that was said to be inside Rendlesham Forest. What you're about to hear is him, Sergeant Neville, and Lieutenant England.
We're looking at the same tree we took the sample off with this, we call it star scope. Getting a definite heat reflection off the tree, about 3 to 4 feet off the ground.
I was observing this, and of course I can describe this in a way that sounds like a bad science fiction movie, but I will say that my senses were not as they are now, or as they would have been hours before I was present there, and others felt the same. It was like watching a movie.
You saw like where? Right in this position here, straight ahead, in between the tree. There it is again. Watch, straight ahead off my flashlight there. There it is.
And then it breaks into like 3 pieces and speeds across the runway. And now we're stunned. We're like, what was that?
It was this thing broke up into multiple shards of extremely bright light.
And it went back out into the field, and then it exploded silently into objects, white objects, and disappeared.
It's brighter than it has been. It's coming this way. It's definitely coming this way. Pieces of it are shooting off. There is no doubt about it.
The only other thing that really caught our attention was that it didn't make any noise. There was no sound to it at all. And we were like, we just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, we're both heading north. Here he comes from the south. He's coming toward us now.
and appeared right in the midst of them.
Now we're observing what appears to be a beam coming down to the ground. This is unreal.
Airman Burroughs grabbed this object and it moved over the ground 10 meters with him holding on to it.
And went out in the field on the other side, and that's when we saw the objects in the sky to the south. And the object sent down the beam on us.
How cued in are we really to the possibilities the universe can throw at us? How often do we limit ourselves by simply believing we have finite possibilities? And how would the world change if we knew that we could do anything? Nikola Tesla said it best: the day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. To understand the true nature of the universe, one must think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Many people are feeling overwhelmed and confused about the world. Our collective aversions are being voiced on more platforms than ever before. We live out our lives being introduced with a new nationwide or worldwide problem all the time. The sense that we're all trying to fix something, but with different compasses, is paramount. Politics and the right and wrong way to live among each other has become more important to us, with it penetrating nearly every avenue of our existence. All conscious shifts occur first with the individual. One person's worldview changes dramatically. More people mimic this worldview. The world appears broken or unfixable. People then take action, creating solutions gradually. Though this example is incredibly facile, where you feel you are on this metric can vaguely correlate to where you are among others. Now arrive when we're all right here, and our only chance of getting there is knowing that it's within reach. To ignore our addiction to negative thinking and self-imposed limitations. And none of this has even been about Kanye, but myself. What actions am I taking to improve the world? I have my answer. Do you?
Needless aggression, unscrupulous greed, unchecked hate. To have the images, the headlines incessantly thrust at you, hour after hour, years at a time, you normalize to it. They want you to go numb, become indifferent, or lose yourself in distractions. For it to feel like the evil in this world and all its machinations are too big to challenge. That loss of control leads to despair, to re-engage, to claw back even the tiniest sense of control. You don't have to save the world. You just have to make a difference where you can, with the opportunities you are given. Maybe, just maybe, if we're made to fight, we can apply it a new way. Save more lives, protect those who can't protect themselves. And after that, who knows what we can achieve together.
There's always been man-eating demons prowling about after dark. That's why it's not safe to go outside at night.
The smell of blood. Nezuko, are you okay? What happened?
The demon scientists protect us by killing as many as they can.
She's a demon. Not Nezuko. Don't let it take control.
She can't be real, which means I have to decapitate your sister.
There's a way, and I'll find it no matter